but through your LinkedIn page, we saw that you are such an inspiring woman from Mali, but doing great in the US. You are working at Leading Change. You can tell us a little bit more about what you do. You are the founder of Kitab and you are an author. And I truly believe that this is personally the heart I'm most interested in to learn from you, because nowadays to position yourself as an expert, whether through um, publishing reports, whether through a thesis for your dissertation, whatever, writing, or even for your resume. Writing is a skill. Creative writing is even better because it positions you as an expert or leader of your field of domain. So thank you once again for your time. I will let you elaborate on your presentation. And later on, if the ladies have any questions, we will be more than happy to answer them. So Awa, the floor is yours, and we can't wait to learn from you. Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Arama, for this beautiful introduction. I hope you guys can hear me fine. So hi, ladies. I heard that you guys are all wearing pink, which is good. We are in
Yeah.
October, Breast Cancer Month. So this is also an opportunity for us to think about all those people who are really struggling with this disease. We support them, we keep them in our prayers, those we lost, those who already keep moving forward into that fight. And yeah, as women, I'm really happy that we are keeping them in our minds as we remember and acknowledge this month. So that said, I'm very honored, Arama, and I'm joining you today from US. I'm really happy to be with you as part of the DEL Academy. Thank you for your efforts in coordinating this and the team for making this space possible and all the ladies who were able to join us today. So in fact, I currently serve as the Director of Operations and Engagement at Leading Change Africa, where we work across countries like Mali, where I'm from. So in fact, I was born in Timbuktu, raised in Bamako, and it has been like over a decade that I has been studying and working abroad. But I'm personally very attached to the country where I belong, and I'm happy to give back in this way and many other ways. So going back to leading change, the work we do is not only in West Africa, Burkina Faso, Mali, but we are also in Eastern and Central Africa, Kenya, Malawi, and other places, and the US. Empowering youth through education, scholarship, entrepreneurship, agriculture, and leadership training as well. So in the past decade, our programs have impacted thousands of lives, and I'm so much excited to say that we are on a mission to reach 1 million people by 2050 as impact that we are doing across our different programmings in Africa and across continents. So as you mentioned, that I'm also the founder of Kitab. It has been founded since 2020, I think, a platform that promotes reading, writing, and women's leadership, things that you're also doing here, right? Through initiative
Yeah.
like Girls Leadership Camp, Voix Plim, which is mostly about guest lecture series where we bring authors and industry leaders to come and share their inspiring stories so that other young people can see, feel, and believe that there is a way out, that there are a lot of possibilities among all the challenges that we sometimes face in our countries. So for the past years, with Kitab, we have reached over 4,000 youth across Francophone Africa. And yeah, we are even thinking about bigger impact as we're still at the beginning of that mission. And beyond, as you mentioned, beyond my nonprofit work, I'm also a published author. I wrote my first book at 18 in French when I was studying in Algeria.
Wow.
Yes,
Nice.
absolutely. And just recently published my first book in English titled Success But at What Cost. And currently in the space of writing my fourth book, which would maybe probably come or be released next year, inshallah, with God's will. So it's a reflection of ambition, sacrifice, and the hidden realities of the paths we take. And I do all that I do. Maybe you're wondering why? Because as I was telling you, I was born in Timbuktu. I was living in Gundam. So in 2013, when there was the terrorism which happened, I have been affected, and recently I even wrote a testimonial article about it. So again, I know firsthand what it's like being affected by such terrorism, such war, and how we as women or girls are the first victims anytime those kind of situation happen. So I was forced to leave school among gunfires. I have seen terrorists coming into our house with guns, and I have experienced traumatism. So I had to leave my hometown and go search for better opportunities elsewhere. But that was my chance, that was my luck. And many girls that I left behind, they didn't get that chance to dream again or go to school. They end up being married early age and doing things that they were not dreaming for themselves, but they have been imposed to due to the current situation. So for that reason and many other reasons, that's why I love to give back. And my goal is really making sure that education is accessible to everyone, and that all the young girls and boys across Africa or in Mali specifically also have the space, the chance, and the same opportunities to go at school, write down their dreams and make them happen. So that's why I do all that I do. So Arama, I think that's a little bit about myself. Maybe I'm gonna pause here and
That's a
see
lot.
come
It's a
next.
lot. I think we can clap for her. Really. Um, thank you for giving back. As you said, some people would just live their life and don't ever think back. But the fact that you still want to give back, we are very proud of you for that. And I think you can be proud of yourself.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
D'accord. Okay,
Yeah.
so let's dive into our session today.
Okay, perfect. So I know this is kind of a special format as we have the in-person and virtual combined. But before we get started, I would really love for us to do a little icebreaker. So,
Okay.
and for that, I think you will help me coordinate Arama as you are in the room with the girls.
Yeah,
So
sure. Yes.
absolutely. So it will be really quick and word game. So in one
Okay.
word, how does once again, let me just take you to the next slide. That was about GitHub and leading change. Now let's just make it informal a bit. So listen, so it would be like a quick word game. In one word, how does writing make you feel, right? So maybe we can do like from a person to another, but in one word, I would give you some example. Like, let's say we start with you, Rama. Maybe you can tell, oh, writing
Yeah.
makes me feel like empowered. And another girl can say nervous, confused, excited. But I just want to hear from everyone very quick. One word, how does writing make you feel?
Okay, so I'll start. Writing makes me feel expressive. Yes. How does writing make you feel? Just one word. You say your word and writing. How does it make you feel? When you need to write something, it doesn't need to be always positive. As she said, maybe it can be nervous, stressed out, whatever. Okay, let's start over there, Maiga.
Okay, let's start. Okay. So writing makes me released.
Okay, writing makes her released. Okay, let me take the mic. Okay, released, you said.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hello, Awa. Hey, Awa. Nice to have you here. Thank you. So my name is Awa MAIGA, and writing makes me released.
Okay, you can pass on to Cisse and let's just move forward. Think of your word. Let's go fast, Cisse.
My name is Sisi, and writing makes me feel more confident.
Confident, okay. Kone.
Hello, my name is Asanatu. Writing makes me expressive and confident.
Perfect.
Confident, okay. Okay.
Hello, my name is Esata, and writing makes me realist and more confident.
Wonderful.
One word. And let's try not to use the words that have been, yes.
Hi, Gafu. I'm working as a detective and what writing made me free.
Free, okay.
Hello, Hawa. Happy
Hi.
to have you here. My name is Traore Kurutumu, and writing makes me feel creative.
Okay.
Hawa, hope you were. My name is Hawa today, and writing makes me comfortable.
Comfortable, okay.
Wonderful.
Go ahead. Who's next? Okay.
Hi, Hawa. My name is Adela Tukole. Me, I never write, so I.
Okay.
Okay.
You never write. Never, ever, ever. Okay. I'm just kidding. She
Even
refused to take. Yes, Awa, you want to say something?
yes, you said she never read. I said even an assignment at school, nothing at all.
Okay. She says it's not an assignment. Okay, Julia, go ahead.
I'm Rosemary Dumbia. Writing filled me
Makes me feel.
makes me feel to achieve my objective.
Okay.
Hello, writing makes me free.
Okay.
Hello, Hawa. My name is Malagodia. Writing makes me feel complex.
Okay.
Hello, Hawa. I'm Ramata Jalu. Writing makes me feel in peace.
In peace. Okay.
Hello, Awa. My name is Wicked Peter. Reading
Writing.
makes me comfortable.
Okay.
Hi, Hawa. I'm Hawa It is nice to meet you. For me, writing is my safe place.
Okay.
Good afternoon, Hawa. I am Mariam Traore. Writing me make a quench, how to say, writing quench my sadness. Hello, Mrs. Hawa. I'm Zabate. Writing makes me feel more organized in my work and also anti with stress when I'm working.
Hello, Hawa. My name is Tiko Anata, and writing makes me feel more confident.
Hello, it's Aminata Raison. Writing makes me very peaceful.
Peaceful. Okay.
Hello, Hawa. I'm Fanta Tobura. Writing make me creativity and open sense.
Okay. Nice. Awa, we had a bunch of words. I called free, confident, creative, free, comfortable, released. Those are powerful words that have been used here.
Absolutely. I love that. And I actually do love the energy in the room. I love the diversity in terms of how writing makes you guys feel. And I mean, it's just inspiring, right, to listen to what we just named together: nervous, empowered, confused, excited, released, confident, expressive, creative, free, comfortable. There were many of them. But do you guys notice something? It's like writing holds all those at once. It can be fear and freedom at the same time, clarity, tension, and that's just powerful. And that's exactly what we will explore today: how to move through that mix of emotions, from hesitation to confidence, from self doubt to expression, and discover that writing not as a burden, but as a tool to empower you. And thinking about how you could use all that emotions that sometimes may evil but still is part of who you are, and make it a strength that could help you, make your story even look better, inspiring, and reach your goals of specific target that you're doing either in your professional or personal work. So that's all that we'll be exploring today, and thank you again for participating into that. And thank you, Arama, for facilitating the Tudor icebreaker. Um, I didn't grow up thinking I would write policy memos, grant proposals, or even books, but I learned, right? I studied public policy at La Follette School of Public Affairs in the US. But before that master, I did my first master in Algeria. I stayed there for 5 years, among challenges, but I still made it. La Follette helped me a lot in terms of strategic writings, in terms of making sure that my writings is reaching the right target, the right purpose, and not just writing for the sake of writing. And one of the best top 10 public policy school, which is La Follette, you know, in the world. And that's where I learned to write clearly. Yes, in the past I wrote books, but when I say clearly, I'm talking about more strategic and professional in terms of how I was writing now. So while combining storytelling with the rural women zone that I had a chance to work with, doing interview articles in rural zones in Mali, and those articles being published by USAID or other, multinational, or let's say, humanitarian organizations. And since then, I have keep writing, right, hundreds of program reports, articles, books, proposals, even articles published by Oxford. And at the same time, I saw it as an experience as I was growing, keep perfectioning and getting to a point where as you write, the more you keep moving, you just realize that there should be a goal, there should be a target, there should be a purpose of why you're writing what you're writing. And then you will notice that there is this why, the why that you should define at the end of the day. Either it's writing or not, why you doing it? Either it's writing a goal, why you doing it? And then there is the action behind the why, which would keep you move forward, right? And that's where you realize that it's not about just putting words together and leave them. It's about how you're gonna use them again as a power, and along with what I just said, to reach some specific goal. From what you write to putting it into an action and to get an effective result. So this is for me like a shame for writing. But here is the secret. I didn't start perfect. I started with a lot of mistakes. I started with maybe, as you guys are all doing, very basic. And then I started being conscious about it. I started being more self-aware and keep learning again and again and how to make the writing was more perfect and reaching what I was expecting as specific goal behind the reason why I was doing what I was doing as writing. So that said, I will make this session more practical. My hope is that at the end of the session, you guys get a lot of notions, information, or skills, if I can say, to get you to that effective writing skills for leadership and professional growth, and also to use your own storytelling as a way, a tool to make yourself heard, to also make sure that you're not only talking only for yourself, but also helping those who don't have a voice to make themselves heard, as well as making sure that it's a tool that would effectively help you to reach your purpose in life. And that said, we will start with a mini workshop and talk more about an email example and break down something we all do, I mean, all the time, right? So, I want you guys to just take a minute to look at those examples. Rama, I hope you can see my screen fine.
Yes, we do.
Okay, perfect. So as you can see on the screen, there is two examples, and quick question, maybe 2 or 3 person can reply very quick. Um, which one would you reply to? Arama, so you will help me coordinate that, right? So just 2 persons, a volunteer. Which email would you reply to, looking at those two examples displayed on the screen? Which one would you be more attractive to reply to?
Okay.
So,
You
one and two, which one would you reply to if you had the choice? Anyone? I'll take just two people. Umu, you want
Yeah.
to? Yeah.
So this is the first email, right? Hi, hello. I want an internship in your office. Please reply soon. And you have the second email here. Dear Mrs. Jallo, I'm a third-year business student with experience in social media projects. I admire your company's work in youth entrepreneurship and would love to apply for an internship opportunity. Could we arrange a short call to discuss? So, among those two examples, which one would you reply to?
I have to choose. Yes. Between the short one, hi, hello. I want an internship at your office. Reply soon. Okay. And the second one is hello. See, yeah, I'm third. Like the person introduces it's himself. I admire your company. Could we arrange a short call to discuss? So let's say, Umu, you have this company and you receive these two emails. Which one would you reply to?
I will reply by the second example, the short email example,
Why?
because it's more clear. It's contain more information about the person who is writing the email. So it's show our motivation to have this internship and our professionalism in work.
Okay. Anyone else wants to try? I think we will all agree on that answer. I guess the second
Perfect.
one is, yeah.
Perfect. I think that's really comprehensive what our friend just shared in terms of why she would go for the second email. So it's really obvious. And that's what you will notice right here. Clarity as well as confidence, consistency, and correctness. Those are really what I call the four C's of strong writing. And I remember even yesterday, or I don't know what, we were talking in a workshop, we are discussing about this reality in Mali. So the issue is that I'm glad if you guys don't feel like yourself into that box, but most of the time, the young people talk about opportunities. They reach out to people, they try to put in the efforts to get professional opportunities, either internship or a work. But the point is that sometimes they make a lot of mistakes. And the first mistakes always arise from the communication first, which means whatever you want to do, if you mess up with your communication, you are a 50% chance to actually mess up with the entire process. So that makes us remember one more time that writing or like communicating is only effective if you make sure that you are being really self-aware on what strategies you're putting into place and what rules you are really following, or making sure that you don't mess up with as you try to do a writing for a specific purpose. Now we have this example of email, which is more professional, which is more like sending an email to get a call so that you can discuss opportunities for an internship. And what you will notice is that the second email used it used a clear subject line. So here you can see internship application, marketing student. It tells two things, right? It tells first, okay, I'm writing this email for an application to an internship opportunity that potentially the company or organization published. And it also tells you about you. Who are you? I'm a marketing student. And then there is another line here, dear Mrs. Jallo or dear Mrs. Arama. At the end of the day, you will see that it starts with a professional grading, and sometimes people don't care about those details. They think it's details, but it tells a lot about the person you are. It tells a lot about your professionalism. It tells a lot about your interest, motivation to size opportunities ahead. I mean, sometimes I receive a lot of emails from young people, but the point is there is always a difference. You can tell by just looking at an email format who is really serious about sizing an opportunity. And either
This
you
is
want,
so.
yes, go ahead, Arama.
So I wanted to say what you are talking about is so, so true. I can give an example. I won't tell the name, but like recently one of the ladies sent me an email, didn't even say hi, hello, thank you, bye. And I told her I won't I won't tolerate this. This is with me. It can maybe go, but with other people, they will not even reply to your email. So she just sent the resume without telling me bonjour, merci, au revoir. I said,
Mm,
this is that. And I'm so happy you are touching on that today.
mm. Yeah, yeah, I love that. I love what you just shared, Rama. Thank you for just being open to that experience and sharing with us, and hope it really serve as a reminder, right? So sometimes it's more of just taking the time it requires and work on all those details. Don't be rush about anything. It's good that, for instance, you're sending 10 emails and you feel like, oh my God, those are a lot of emails. I don't have time to go into deep into those details. But let me tell you this, you want to make the work, making sure that it's effective, and it will take you time to polish it, and be flexible to the time that it might take. And nowadays you have a lot of tools. You have Google, you have ChatGPT, you have so many resources that can really help you polish your writing, and use them. In fact, there are some people I know who are really hesitant about AI or other tools, and that's okay. Even with the computer, that's the same thing that happened. People were not sure about if they wanted to use it or not. But this is about innovation. This is about progress, technology. Either you accept it or not, it's not going by. It will just keep moving. So now it's more of about adaptation. So as you have those tools, and it's like an example, it's like the social media. It's never about do you do you wanna or should you use it or not. It's always about how do you wanna use it. How do you wanna use it? How do you wanna incorporate it into your work to make it look more effective, more polished? So again, I'm not telling you go use those resources to generate something from scratch. I'm telling you, as you finish writing, using your mind, putting your ideas together, be flexible in using those tools like ChatGPT to polish your work, or ask him directly, is it good? What are your tips to make it look even more professional? But yeah, so let's come back to the structure of it. So here you can see the subject line. As we said, it tells right away about you and what you're trying to get out of the email. And that shows a lot of clarity. You cannot send an email without subject. And sometimes I receive emails of people, I mean, all the content of the email is already in the subject, and then the content itself has no information at all. And when you receive that kind of email, you just don't want to open it. I mean, it doesn't tell anything positive about you, and you don't want to look like that. You don't want to look like unprofessional. So again, next time you write an email, just take some time to reflect about the structure and make sure that you're following the rules for an effective email. Subject line, clarity, and don't put a lot of words. You don't have to make all information there. Just 2 or 3 effective words that would tell all about why you sending the email. And for sure, the greetings, you all heard about what Arama just shared as an example. So make sure you greet people, and that shows a lot of about you being polite. Dear Mrs. Jolly, it doesn't cost you anything. And after you do that, tell a little bit about yourself. I'm a 3-year business student with experience in social media projects. You see, in one sentence, you are now able to tell about your educational background, expertise. And here you show that, in fact, you have done some bit of research, because you said you admire the company's work in youth entrepreneurship, which shows about what kind of work they are doing. And it also shows a lot about your willingness to go out of your comfort zone and go learn more about the impact they are making. And here you show the interest. You would love to apply for internship opportunity. That also tells them about, in a respectful manner, it tells them about what you're trying, what is your specific purpose in sending that email? And you clearly mention it here. And you don't leave it to that. You now ask for a short call to discuss, which is a lot of openings. Don't be afraid. I know most of the young people, when they send emails, or they just send it for the sake of sending it. But increase your chances, double it by two, making sure that there is no chances for them not to reply back to you. When you tell them about, hey, I'm open to a call to discuss more, it shows a lot about your confidence. It shows a lot about you being interested into that position in the opportunity, and that you don't wanna you want to size all chances to just get to them and, you know, be considered for the position or whatever the opportunity it might be. And as you do this, always remember to also attach your CV. So I know sometimes we just send emails, hello, I want an internship, and that's it. But make sure that you attach your resume. And why? Because as they don't know you, they just receive your email. They be like, okay, the email structure is good, but I don't know you. Who are you? Like, why should I meet with you? And then you don't want to put people in a situation where they are confused. You want to bring as more clarity as possible. And that's why you want to attach the resume or the CV, even though they didn't ask you for that. But it's really professional. It shows that, hey, I'm ready for this. I have all that I need to really be considered for this kind of opportunity. So yeah, I'm making it all easy for you. Here is all information about me. And the most important thing is also this last line. It's really a call to action. And usually when you send email, you want to make it clear. Is it you sharing an information? Is it you asking a question? Is it you asking for something to be done? And that's what I call by call to action. Make sure you are clear about what you want when you send an email. So if you there not clear about, bringing a lot of confusion about your email, then you will never get what you want. So make sure that as you send the email, that the replies from the people you already having the conversation with will satisfy you. And before you get satisfied, you should satisfy yourself at 50%. And that's why you want to always be effective on the next step about your email. If it's arranging your call, perfect. If it's, requiring more information, make sure you said it clearly. But yeah, I think that should be fine here. But let's maybe just talk 1 minute about the things you shouldn't be doing as you send or write a professional email, which would be, as I said, a simple hi or urgent like this without specifying why, or speak greetings or titles as Rama was saying, or use casual slang language. And some people do that a lot. I even see like in the francophone zone, some people they just send email and ils abrègent les mots like hi,
Bonjour.
bonjour, BJR. I mean, c'est pas professionnel. It's not professional. Don't do that. It doesn't tell anything positive or professional about you. And ou bien like the demand immediate replies. Don't rush people. Don't rush people. Just always be polite, right? Even here, some people would have done it differently. Could we arrange a short call to discuss? If it was me, I would definitely go ahead. After saying, could we arrange a short call to discuss? You can go ahead and definitely say, I'm available, and you give at least free time or date options to the person. And you can also show your openness, saying that, hey, if the times and days that I provided are not, something that might work for you, please feel free to subject other times and dates and we'll accommodate. But make sure you make things easier to people, especially knowing that they are busy. They don't want to go back and forth in emails. So be clear enough. Make sure you are concise and make sure that you are really clear about the call to action as well as the next steps, and be really strategic. That's how you can get the best or the most of your email replies. So let me just pause here and see, Arama, if you have something to add to that, or if there is anyone who wanna, I don't know, add something or wanted
I
to
think
come.
wants to say something. Is it a question or contribution? Okay, go ahead.
Hello again, Mrs. Um,
The way I say you are interested by writing, I mean you are a writer, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Uh, Me too. I do like to write. I really like that, and I'm writer, so I can say, but I'm not professional because I just write about hobbies or when I'm sad or when I'm glad sometimes and alone, I can say. But I wanna be like the international writer, but in the area like ours, I mean in Mali, it's very difficult to be famous in writing because I talk with a lot of writers and they told me about the travels and the problems there are facing. So I want to know if now I want to be a famous writer in Mali, how can you tell me what are the advice you can tell to me to encourage me to make me more motivated to reach my goal, and also I can be an example for a lot of people who want to work in Mali, but it can be difficult for them because they are scared, like me, I can say. So I
Mhm.
want advice you can give me to reach my goal. Thank you.
Mhm. That's a good question. So Arama,
Yeah.
I was mostly thinking this specific part, I was thinking about questions so that they don't forget about it as we move forward. But do you think I should go ahead and reply to this, or can we just put it at the end?
Yeah, you are right. Regarding the emails, and I think that's clear enough for you guys, right? Okay. I think we can move on and you can try, because I know it's not easy, but you can try to answer to our today's question. There is another question we will take before we move on to the resume tips.
Okay, sounds good. So yeah, maybe Arama, you would help me, right? Just having the questions put together so that we can come back to them at the Q&A.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Can I go ahead with my question? Going back to the emails, I would like to know what is the best way to reply to an email, because I didn't get well this part.
Reply. Okay, to reply. Yeah.
You reply, okay.
The best ways to reply to an email. I think this is initiation of conversation.
Yes.
So this is
Mm-hmm.
like you taking the lead to reach out to a person. And I'm so happy you mentioned this because it's very important. As you said, the first impression, we cannot do it again. And a lot of people come across very unprofessional, disrespectful, and especially with our francophone background. One thing personally I hate is people sending cuckoo, hello, and not saying what they want to say. It's really annoying. Nobody
Yeah.
has time. So please say what you have to say and move on. Now, I wrote to raise question. We will keep that one for the Q&A. Very interesting question. Now the
Mhm.
question with One is how can you best reply when you receive an email? You mean an email from a recruiter, or what do you specifically mean? Okay. Is there any structure like this one to reply to an email? What would you recommend?
Mhm. Yeah, I guess the first thing is once you okay, so I didn't put the reply section just because it really depends on the content of
Yeah.
the email, the sender, the purpose. It could be a workplace or a personal purpose email. So it really depends. But let's just make it more specific to reply to her question. So, but the rule that might applies to any type of emails is really first understanding what you are receiving as an email. Take some time to really read it. twice if you can, to understand what the email is telling you. And that goes back to what I was saying, right? Sometimes you receive an email or you send an email for different reasons. It could be for information, request, or a call to action. Whatever it is, there is always a purpose there. Try to understand what the purpose is. I can send you an email, say, hey Arama, how are you doing today? Look, I'm very interested about the work that you're doing with the girls, and I have a little sister who's interested into it as well. So do you think she can join the next session? If yes, please let me know. And if you want to discuss more on the feasibility of that, let's do a call and talk more about it. You see, I'm making a request. So Arama can reply back saying, hey Awa. So first line, she will make sure that she comes back to what I was asking her as a request. Hey Awa, thank you so much for sending the email and talking about the interest of your little sister who's interested in joining the girls that I support. You see, so first line, first paragraph, it could really be about showing the other person who sent the email that you acknowledge his or her message, you understand what they are asking from you. And then you can reply back in the second paragraph telling the person if you're willing to do or take action about what they're requesting. So she can, the reply could be for the second paragraph. I understand, and it's really important that we have more girls empowered. And yes, we love to have your little sister joining us for the next session. And to make that happen, it's possible that Arama would give me, logistic information, and she might also be like, hey, let's have a call tomorrow and discuss the feasibility. But again, it depends on what kind of email you're receiving, what are the other person asking, requesting from you. But always make sure you understand the email, and before you reply, make sure about the format, which is first greetings, and then making sure that you are showing the other person that you get what they are requesting from you, and reply to the request. Make sure it's clear enough. And after you finish that, the following step should be about the next steps. How are you gonna make this happen? It could be, I will give you a call tomorrow at 10 a.m. Does it work for you? Or yes, can you please tell your sister to just write me a message? So just make sure that the next step are clear, and then you do the thank you note. And at the looking forward, making sure that looking forward to hearing from you. That's if you are requesting or waiting for more information, or you could also make it as a reminder of the next step. Looking forward to talking to you tomorrow at 10 a.m. That also shows again to the other person that, hey, I understand your message. I reply to your request. This is how the next step should look like, and this is the short-term goal for us to move forward with it. I hope that replies to her question, Arama. If not, I'm happy to.
Okay, does it reply? Okay. Yes.
Okay, thank you for this answer. I get the point. But I would like also to know if it's not necessary to be so long with the reply. The answer should be short, but if the answer is long, it does matter.
You can do this in 1, 2 sentences.
Mhm.
As I'm sorry, I'm stepping on your on your toes. But just to reply, and we can move on to the next slide, I would say that it's really the structure, as she said, um, um, to make sure you understand, you just share a brief understanding of the previous message, you share your response, and you, of course, talk about the call to action. So what are the immediate next steps you can do? And I think you can have, for example, a sentence for each section. That makes it not. Yes. Thank you, Awa, for. Okay, there's a question from Dumia. Yeah, no problem. Go ahead.
Thank you. My question is, sometimes when you receive a message email and at the end, you reply the answer, short answer, but you click and this pre-message when they send you, but I let it and I send my own message. It's good or not?
Okay. I think you mean the automated message responses that Google, for example, propose to you. Do you, okay, Awa, she wants to know, to reply to an email, you sometimes have, I think this is AI, sharing some adequate responses for the email. So do you think it's good to sometimes choose those or to always share your own reply if you
I'm
get
I'm not
it?
sure. I'm not sure I'm getting it. I'm not
Okay,
sure.
let's
Like,
say for example, I send an email, hello, Awa, I'm looking forward to our session. And sometimes you will have Google sharing a quick answer, like great, see you there, or you sometimes have a tweet
oh,
you
okay.
choose to see now. It's
Mm-hmm, I
AI.
see. I
AI
see.
and yes.
Yes, it's
So
like short
instead
messages.
she's
Okay.
asking for her personally. She never choose those. She loves to give her own answers. So do you think that's better, or could she select some of the options she has?
Mm. Yes, that's a good question, right? Because we always have those options that comes automatically, right, at the end of, or let's say at the bottom of our emails when we're trying to reply back to someone. It depends, right? As long as it's necessary for you to write it to your own, go ahead and do it. But why I'm saying it depends, sometimes the last email, throughout a discussion could just be, hey, looking forward to meeting with you soon. I can just say yes, looking forward to it as well. And if the short email is actually tailored and the good structure for you to reply, go ahead and use it. But I mean, if it's a long email that has been initially started, that the person is sending you, make sure you reply on your own word. That way, it doesn't look like more automatized and it doesn't look like losing interest. But again, as you keep evolving in the conversation, if at some point there is not much to say and that you see that some of those options reply could be really tailored for your specific conversation, you can go ahead and use it. So it just depends, really. I don't know if that replies to your question.
Zumbia, is it okay? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She says it's okay, so that's great. So let's now dive into the resume and CV types. Tips. I can say that there's a difference. I think I learned from you on that one. The difference between the resume and we can go ahead.
Okay, shall I go ahead?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, perfect. For the resume, I'm really excited about this part. Why? Because I have seen that francophone, Africans coming from francophone zones, we are really, really modest. When I say modest, it's like we lack that confidence to just sell ourselves, right? You see what I mean? We are always in the mood of, oh my God, I don't want to tell a lot about myself. They will say that maybe I'm, overconfident. But listen, we are in a world where you should be able to speak up for yourself and tell about your skills. Prove it. You know, you don't have other choices than really make sure that you use the numbers and the storytelling to tell about your work. Your work doesn't always speak for itself. Sometimes you need to put words and again and stats on it so that people can see the true impact behind. And why I'm saying francophone zones, because you take all Eastern or Central African, they have that way, specific way of storytelling, using numbers to show true impact that most of the African, from Francophone, so they usually don't get it, they don't do it. They're not flexible, comfortable doing so. So I don't want you to find yourself into that box. If you are now into that box, really take yourself out of it. Take yourself out of it and make sure that you are really confident and comfortable about using numbers and great information to tell about your work and give it more value and strength. And you can do that either speaking verbally or in your resumes or when you write a policy memos or articles, but do it. So here you will see on this slide there is a difference between a resume and a CV. So here you will see that a resume is usually one page. Also, it depends. I'm talking about a lot of control as well. I know that the system might differ from like what, because we have been colonized by French people. What
Yeah.
this requires from you might be different from UK or US. So I totally understand that there might be like slight changes regarding if you are in an European zone or American or whatever. But again, a resume usually is one page or two max, and it's tailored to specific job internship. So it definitely focuses on skills, experience, and achievements. And it's really common, as you can see it in the US, Canada, UK, or business jobs. While the CV, the curriculum vitae, as we know, is longer. It could be really longer, 2 pages or plus, and it's like a complete academic professional history. It includes
Mm.
publications, research, teaching, conference, and it's really common in spaces like academia. When I say academia, I'm talking about schools, institutions, and research field. And it's something that you usually see in Europe, Africa, and with graduate studies. Why graduate study? Because sometimes those are students who are doing PhD or master's work, and they do a lot of research, a lot of book writings, article writings, and sometimes they apply to grants or to projects that may need them to show exactly why they are the good fit for that kind of research positions. So that's why they go for a CV, because that way they have the opportunity to share all their complete academic background. They can talk about all the publications, research they have been doing, conferences they have been attending, teaching they have been doing, so that the person can see, oh my God, this is Rama. I have seen that she has done this is in the academia. Her CV is long enough, it's comprehensive, it has a lot of information. And yeah, we think she's the good person for this specific position. While again, the resume is more like it's still comprehensive, but usually you would see that um, the missing information would go to the motivation letter, but it's really specific in a sense that it's more tailored to the specific internship or job. And again, it just focuses on your skills. What are your capabilities? Where are your strengths in terms of making a work perfect? Or what are your specific achievements in the professional world, and why should we hire you? Again, when I'm in the US, and even like 4 years, more than like over a decade now, I'm really more like a resume person. But for the
Mm.
CV, I can tell you by experience, I have used it a lot in the academic field when I was doing articles. And even when sometimes you can even use it for the professional world. I have been working with USAID sometime doing, traveling in rural zones, meeting with rural entrepreneurs, female entrepreneurs who are doing agriculture, agro transformation. So I went in those spaces like Sikaso and elsewhere, met with those women, writing down um, articles about their businesses, their challenges, their stories, and how they are lifting their families and communities, and how empowered they are through USAID programs. And sometimes, when you want a grant to support such projects, or when you want an organization to see like you have all the potential to, undertake such projects, you definitely need a CV, because in that CV I can go long enough to tell them about all related and similar work that I have been doing in the same field, which would give me enough credibility to undertake such job. I hope I hope it's clear enough. I hope we are getting the difference here.
Yeah, I think it's yes, and it's very insightful to have this perspective on this too.
I'm still waiting for my answer.
Yes, she said to keep it for the Q&A because she will.
Okay.
Oh,
She
okay.
just wants. No, no, j'ai écrit. Okay, no worries. Yeah, I think this part is very clear and truly insightful. The
Okay.
fact that you verbs and numbers, I think it makes all the difference,
Yes.
especially putting forward your experience and expertise. As you
Hmm.
said, especially in Mali, it's very cultural. We have this humility. We don't want to brag. We don't want to seem across very arrogant. But as you said, it's a very competitive world, and you need to speak for yourself.
Hmm.
Definitely.
Yes. Well, perfect. Thank you for adding that, Hama. Yeah, so good. We are done with the difference. Now, here you can see two examples again. Um, as tips, yeah, use action verbs, led, created, coordinated, designed. Um, show result with numbers that comes and keep it one page. I mean, for students or young professionals. And here you can definitely see some of the what I call don't do not. It's like on your CV, or let's say on your resume, because those rules apply to both CV or resume. But see how this is made. Example, like I'm responsible, or like I was responsible for a student club. That's how you put it on your CV resume. What does it mean? I mean, it doesn't tell anything. Responsible for student club, yes, but is it the title that matters? No, which means like it's competitive. Maybe Arama is writing me, with her CV attached, and I would go into her CV and see, or her resume, and see that she's telling me she's been responsible for student club, 2022 to 2025. Okay, that's fine. There is also Fatumata sending me another resume, right, about her, telling me, hey, I was responsible for a student club. I led a team of 10 students to organize free events engaging 200 participants. You see how different it is, how comprehensive it is, how inspiring it is, how much it tells about Fatmata's experience, ability to motivate, to empower, to impact. You see how it makes it more easier for me to just choose her and not Rama, just because she just told me about the title. But we don't care about the title. What we care about is your skills. How did
And
you mhm,
no, I said the skills and the achievements.
and
Yeah.
achievements? Absolutely. The skills and the achievements and the experience, how you learning, how you growing as a leader. So technically, if you tell me you are responsible for a student club, I would definitely say that you are someone who's really experienced in advocacy, and that you can empower, you can really create a lot of dynamics within a young, age group. So that's why I was saying learn to sell your experience, focusing on achievements, not just duties. Saying that you were responsible for a student club is fine, it's just a duty, something you are undertaking, but showing how that helped you to make an impact, achievements again. And here you can see an example how that helped you to engage with 200 participants. What kind of opportunities were you able to really make available for those 200 plus participants? How did you grow and learn as leader yourself, and how were you making sure that you gave a space and opportunity for those young people or participants to also engage and feel like empowered? That's what would make the true difference. So again, quantify your impact, show numbers, percentages, and outcomes. And for you to do that, you need tools. You need a lot of tools. Let's say you're working on a small project or a small training, you definitely need the number of participants who came into the training. Let's just take an example with that session. If Rama is really now giving us the space to join as ladies, and empower among ourselves, she definitely needs, to tell us about how many people were able to join the session. Maybe 25 ladies, that's fine. It shows about numbers. So we can definitely say that, let's say Fatumata is writing on her CV, she would definitely say that, hey, on October 4th, Saturday, I was responsible for a session about effective writing skills. And how can she show the impact? Through saying there were 25 participants and they learned about CV, resume, this, and then they were feeling empowered. And another thing is the next step as well. What did they do with that knowledge later on? So you see how it's more of going from just leading a session to showing the achievement, the impact, moving forward into really the outcome, the result of what you are doing as a duty. So that's where I want to take you guys. Just imagine the difference and imagine how you could incorporate that into how you write your CV or resume, as you move forward in your career or even in your personal or academic journey. I hope that makes sense. Maybe I will just pause here and hear from you guys, Rama and the other guys.
Yes, that makes sense. Sense. It makes sense.
I have Subhana. Yeah, me go to Jordan.
Hello. Oh, Mrs. Mrs. I have a question. Um, between the resume and the CV, which ones do we use when we want to get, for example, a work, and which one do we use when we want to have an internship? I just want, and now I know the difference between these two words, but now I wanted to know how can I use the resume, and when can I use the resume, and when can I use the CV?
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's a good question. Again, as you can see here, it really depends on where you are and what system is into place. If you are in Africa or Europe or American zone, there would be slight difference on how you can use it. It's easier for me to just tell you, okay, for professional, like let's say you're seeking for internship or job opportunities, you definitely go for the resume. You definitely go for the resume. There is no need to, put 5 pages to get. They will not even get the time to read it. And there are a lot of other people who are applying for the same position. It's just making sure that it's 1 page or 2 page max, and it tells you about the specific skills, achievements, and roles that you got throughout your professional experience. You see what I mean? But here for the CV, it's longer in an academia workplace. Let's say you are a student, a graduate student, and that you're doing research, you are a PhD student, and that you are interested in showing more about what writings you have done in the past. You see how the CV would be more tailored for you, in a sense that as you share more about or the work that you have been doing or the writings that you have been doing, you definitely need more space to write it down. And that's why people also go for CV instead of resume. But again, I put it here, right? I told you resume is more tailored for US, Canada, and business jobs. And here, CV, that's what you know in Mali. That's what you know in Mali. I'm not saying, never use CV again. I'm just trying to tell you how effective you could be in using both, but making sure that it's more tailored for the specific purpose. It could still be a CV, but with 1 page long or 2 page, but no more than that. Still comprehensive, specific, and less details, unnecessary details. But again, um, easy answer: resume is for business, CV is for academia purpose. And if you find yourself in Africa, you still need the CV instead of resume. But as you use your CV, make sure that there is no unnecessary details. I think I try to be as clear as possible. Hopefully, you understand it.
Yes, I understand.
Okay. Yeah, and maybe as Rama is also in Mali, she can give you more insights about it so that you understand the difference.
No problem. Okay.
Mhm.
See. Okay, I think we can move on now to the next. Or okay.
To the next, okay, to the cover letters.
Yeah.
Okay. Simple structure. Who you are, why you are applying, what you bring on board, closing politely, and keep it short and specific under one page. So I know that it might really differ or like slightly be transitionable depending on what specific region you are based in. But again, a motivation letter usually would just take you one page longer to tell everything that you should be telling. Just see it as an addition to your resume or CV. So technically, what happens is sometimes you see people just combining all type of information, putting everything into your cover letter. It doesn't make sense just because maybe you are adding information or experience which is not related to the specific position you are applying to the specific internship or the specific job. Sometimes it's not about everything that you have been doing. Sometimes it's just about what specific skills, what specific knowledge are you bringing on board, what specific experience that you had in the past, what specific position you hold in the past, which has been able to prepare you to the new opportunity you are applying to. I don't know if you see what I'm saying making sense. But technically, um, let's say you are applying for a position to be a cook in a restaurant. I'm the chief who is recruiting you. Do you really feel like I care about you telling me about, how many people you were able to train um, about dancing? No, it doesn't make sense at all. But I would care if you tell me, oh, those are my experiences uplifting girls about leadership or whatever the group of people about leadership. You may feel like it still doesn't make a lot of sense, but it could in a sense that it shows your ability to lead the team. It shows your ability to really master pressure, to control yourself, to manage a group, to make sure that you are taking people from a purpose to a result. So, just an example to tell you about, don't try to put a cover letter of, I don't know, 100 pages, 10 pages just to show how good you are. Just be specific on what skills you're bringing on board and how it's really tailored for the specific position you're applying to. So that's what I'm trying to say about just tell about who you are. Maybe you are a master student, a bachelor student, finishing your license, or whatever you're doing as study. By who you are, just tell about your name. My name is, and your educational background or your professional background, or if you want, where you come from, what you stand up for, what are your convictions in life. So the who you are could be all of that, but still being concise, and why you really applying. So it's also being really strategic on how you say that, in a sense that maybe you are applying because you have a lot of interest in the work that the structure or the institution or the organization is doing. And maybe your interest could be, hey, I have always been inspired by the work that you do in uplifting, empowering girls, and I would love to join that mission. That could be why you are applying, but find a reason why you're doing what you're doing besides money or whatever. And what you bring. So, what you bring is about your experience, your knowledge, your skills, you know, all that would inform your work in your new position. So, what you bring is really everything along with your leadership, your technical skills, you know, your communication skills. So that's what you bring, your adaptability to new environment, your values, your principles, what you stand up for, what makes you not maybe easy sleeping at night. That's what you bring, your positive energy. It could be all of that. And then the closing politely, which could be also a line about, hey, to reinforce your interest and also to show your willingness to meet with the hiring committee and provide more details or information to them about yourself and skills. And again, keep it short and specific. If you can, one page is fine, 2 pages max, but I don't really always recommend people going beyond that, especially if it doesn't make any sense. Yeah, so that's what I wanted to share here. I don't know if Arama, you want to add anything or if anyone wants me to dive more into it.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, especially about the relevant points. Make sure that what you are sharing aligns with the job you are applying for. You may have several other experiences, but if it's not relevant, please keep it to yourself. Any questions, any contribution? Otherwise, I think we can move to the next slide.
Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, but this is more about business tailored language. Technically, it's just an example. We won't spend much time here, but it just tells you again about the structure and how you write stuff. It could be in email, CV, or whatever as you speak. Just make sure that there is a lot of clarity, which means short, simple sentences. Don't confuse people with a lot of information. Don't do long sentences. They won't keep it at the end of the day. And also the tone that you want to use: polite, confident, respectful, and the structure: grading, purpose, call to action, closing. So here you can see 2 examples. The first one is about I want job now. I want a job now. Hey Aramata, I want a job now. I mean, who are you? Okay, you want a job, so what should I do about it? I don't even know you. And here you see the other example that could be more effective. I would be grateful for the opportunity to apply my skills to your team and contribute to your mission. You see, this is even something you can use at the end of your cover letter. But again, don't pressure people, don't rush people, don't be unpolite, don't be unprofessional. Just make sure that you use the strategic words to make a difference. You use the strategic word to really show how experienced, how professional you are, which tells a lot about you and give first impression, which sometimes never lies. But yeah, I would be grateful for the opportunity to apply my skills to your team and contribute to your mission. You show here that you have an experience that you would like to add to the team, which shows again your value added to the team and your contribution to their mission as well, which also shows that you are an asset. You are coming with something that you're confident you have and that you want to apply to advance their mission or work. Um, Now this is the most important also part of strategic writing or communication, which is about really leadership and storytelling. So, one thing you will notice all the time is that leaders inspire through stories. That's why you shouldn't never be afraid to share your journey. Reflect on it, learn and grow from lessons, and inspire through action, impact, and resilience. Which means that, again, it goes back to what we were saying about being sometimes hesitant not to sound as arrogant when it comes to your story. But listen, we are the sum of our challenges. As a human, we are the sum of things that worked well, things that didn't end up working out well. We are the sum of all of that. Everything that you might call as failures, plus everything that you may call as success. So, which means sometimes you are struggling, taking yourself out of difficult situation, challenges, and you feel like it's nothing. I would tell you it's something because it shapes who you are. It shapes the reason behind you keep moving forward. So just make sure you are strategic about how you share that with the public because that could be a lot of inspiration to other people who are listening to you and who would understand through your storytelling that if you were able to make it happen, it might challenges, so they could also do that. That way you show that there is always a way out. There is light. But you can only do it if you are self-aware about your leadership. And you might wonder about why I'm putting leadership and storytelling because both goes together. For you to be a good storyteller, you definitely need to be self aware, which is part of your leadership growth. If something bad happens to you today, how are you reacting to it? How do you see it as an opportunity to learn and grow, and not only as a challenge that would break you down? What is your resilience behind the challenges you face? How conscious are you about everything that you're learning throughout experiences? And how do you want to use them as a strength and use them positively as you grow as a leader and want to impact more people? Which means the sum of all of that, that sometimes may look pink, at the times blue, coming together and serve as the structure, the messaging you want to use to tell your story. So you see what I mean? And when I say story, it's really about whatever you do as communication, always make sure that you are clear about what you want people to do. Are you inspiring through action? Are you impacting positive influence? Or are you just transferring a message that would help people being resilient? So an example is that my goal for you today is a lot of things, but most essentially inspire you to take actions. Whatever we discuss here, whatever information I share with you today, it only make value if at the end of the session you take some time to reflect on it and try to implement those strategies as you move forward in your academic journey or professional life. So that's one of my goal, inspire you to take action. Another thing is also resilience, which means I know there are a lot of challenges you guys face, but again, I have been growing up in the same space, environment where you are, and just see it as an example of there is no limitation to what you can do, to where you can be, as long as you're willing to have the vision, put in the efforts, keep growing, being conscious about what you're learning, and being able to shape your story, telling people about how important it is to be resilient, keep impacting positively, and make a difference in your communities. So that said, I put here a couple of examples of how you could use those words strategically. And here you can see some of the words that come up all the time when it comes to storytelling and leadership. This is how leaders do it. They always love to speak, talking about what they learned, which shows the self growth, you see. And it's something I love to say. Education is not only in classrooms. At school, they just teach you about how to keep learning. So don't limit yourself on what you can know. And things that you're learning today might not be even, they might be outdated 10 years or 5 years ago. So keep learning. As a leader, you love to say to keep challenging yourself, learning, and be up to date regarding all the resources, innovation into place. Which means as you keep talking or shaping your story through writings, always show that you keep learning. And another word is I overcame. Why that matters, it shows your resilience. In fact, it shows that, yeah, it's not easy, but I learned from that experience. I got the lesson and I overcame it. How did you overcome it? How did you went over that challenge? And that's what you're showing. And as you show it, people would see a lot of inspiration as well. And from I overcame, I achieved. What did you achieve? That's where you talk about numbers, you talk about all the impact you're doing. But again, those are just example of what. But I'm not also encouraging you a lot to use I because no one does itself alone. No one does everything alone. You always need people. You always do things with people. It's better doing it as a leader. It's always the we have done this, we have overcome this, we have achieved this. But again, just be strategic on how you're using the word, and it also depends on what spheres, what atmosphere, what spaces you're using to write, tell your story, or communicate. So then writing on LinkedIn blogs builds your leadership identity. So again, the point is usually we are in a position, archaic, like classic position, where sometimes we feel like social media is just for fun. But I know most of you might know it. It's just a reminder to make sure that if you don't have LinkedIn accounts, and this is an example, right? For all of you who have LinkedIn, this is an opportunity to also connect, which means after this session, you could go ahead and find out about me being on LinkedIn and connect and keep exchanging and see where opportunities may come up. So just see it as a tool.
I'm just saying they definitely should reach out on LinkedIn.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so just see it as a tool where you make sure that you are always there to update your profile when you have a new experience. As you adding to your CV or resume, make sure your LinkedIn is also up to date, so that now we are in a digitalized world. Either you want it or not, people want to see your brand, your personal brand. Who are you, you know, on a digital world? Who are you on the field? But they can have both, because as you keep sharing stories, as you keep communicating about the work you do, you see how they feel like connected to you. You see how they cannot see you physically, but they have a sense of the work that you're doing, and it builds a lot of credibility to your work, and it tells about how professional and how innovative and how comfortable you are with the tech, skills or resources, to make sure that your impact goes beyond the field and reach many more lives. And that's the vision. You want a bigger one that cross barriers and borders. So again, if you're not on those places, please do that. And then you also have platforms like Medium, Beehive, and in fact, I'm on Beehive. Each month I release two articles about either development, social economic development in Africa, transformation in the world, globalization, the importance of reading, writing. But yeah, you just see it as a way to be consistent, because as a leader, you want to do things constantly that takes you to a longer impact. You don't want to just start new thing today and end it tomorrow. Make sure that as you start something, you keep doing it. And for you to keep doing it, it might challenges. It's that you have passion into that thing. So make sure about things you are committed into, and make sure that you keep being consistent and keep improving as you learn and grow with it, so that people can say, hey, I know Arama. Why you know Arama? Because she always release articles at least 2 times in a month using Substack, Beehive, or Medium, or LinkedIn, or blogs, or Facebook. And that's what I know about her. Maybe I'm inspired because she does that. But find a way, find your own brain, find ways where you feel like, hey, this is my way to tell you about my passion. This is my way to stay connected with you. This is my way to contribute to this field, this other one. But just find a way as you're thinking about writing to create something, a platform space that will keep you consistent along years. And an example is, yeah, I mean, you just keep growing. There would be a lot of mistakes. Uh, but again, as you keep really getting more experience, you will also get a chance to train others on professional writing. Our growth, is really possible when we also learn from every attempt. But again, unless you are conscious about what you are learning, otherwise you will keep making the same mistakes, and you don't want to do that. So those are the key takeaways. We only have one slides left. But again, I just want to say that um, in terms of the main takeaway, we'll also get a chance, all of us, to share about one thing that stands out throughout the session. But as key takeaways, I would just say your words are your power. Your words are your power. It tells you about who you are. It tells about your skills, knowledge. It tells about your professional credibility. It tells about your story. It tells about how you could also lift up others. It tells you about your capacity to talk, communicate effectively, write CVs, resume in a professional setting, articles, blogs, books, whatever you want to do. Even in the, even writing a book, you cannot write a book without self-awareness. Yeah, either you want it or not, you always use your story sometimes to tell a bit about yourself, while the book might be fictional or not. But again, whatever you do, speak or writing, be clear. Make sure you are clear about your purpose, what you want to get out of the thing you're doing, the writing. Be professional in tone, as we discussed. Show results, not only words. Show results, show numbers, show achievements, show impact, and use writing to inspire and lead. Um, and I have a challenge. It's for you it feels like more theoretical, but my expectation is for you to really improve at least one writing habit this month. And you could start that with your image structures, just playing with it. The best place to make mistakes is with your learning community, and you have one. You have Rama, who's also supporting a lot. She has experience. She can definitely keep you improving. So always see that as an opportunity to learn, accountability person, where you can also just sometimes play with it, think about your current image structure and feel like, oh, okay, tomorrow I want to send an email to Arama just to check if I'm improving. Hey, Arama, this is just a test. Do you think it's good? Can you please give me feedback on it? And I'm pretty sure she would be happy to assist you. So that would be my challenge for you. And again, keep learning, keep growing. And Arama, I think I'm gonna just pause right here, and maybe we can go to the Q&A or any other things you would like me to dive more.
Thank you so much. I think we can have a round of applause for Awa. Thank you so, so much. I think those are really, truly valuable advice and tips that you shared with us. And I will follow you on Beehive just to read your articles. I'm really looking forward to those. So we can move to the Q&A session. I already have to raise question which is written. I think I will take maybe 2 more questions if there are any, and we can answer them. Okay, Jabate, go ahead.
I have a question about the email writing. I wanted to know if you sent an email to a professional to get something from him or from her, and this person replied to your email and to to send you a good response that can feel you more happy and know she wanted to help you. But at this time, you are not enough, you are not enough time to reply to his email as good as possible. It's better to wait more than 1 day before reply to this email. Just I wanted to know if this kind of gesture feel like you are not respectful. I wanted to know.
Okay, just to rephrase, the way I understood the question is that what's like the best timing to get back to someone? Let's say a professional you want to collaborate with reach out to you, but you know that you don't have enough time to get back to them. So what's the best time frame you should get back to them? This is written, Jabate. I will take all the questions and then we will answer them. Any other questions? Okay.
Awa, thank you very much for your insightful presentation. We've really learned a lot from it. I have 2 questions. The first one is to know with the using of AI, for example, nowadays, everybody's using AI and not in a smart way, but yeah, so you challenge us to write at least this one, right? And I think that we feel even our brains are feeling lazy these days. It's like whenever you have to do something, you just say, okay, let me give it to AI since, I have an AI assistant that really knows me. Maybe let me just put it on it and I will get, correlate or accurate feedback on the topic. And I think with that, it will be very difficult for us. It's true. AI is AI, and we are the one guiding AI, of course. But I think nowadays we having a lot of writers, and when you try to read their books, you will just find it very, it's not like before when we used to read books. And my second question is more like the one that Umu just asked is, for example, when you send a message to someone, a professional message, and you want a feedback within a specific time, and you don't get the feedback you want. How do we send a message? Do you need to send the same message, or there is a way to send a message different from the one that you sent for the first time. Thank you.
Okay. You can give to Cece. And I will get back to you on your list.
Yeah.
You just reminded me. Go ahead, Cece.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Maiga, for your presentation. And my question is, I'm someone who, before get sleep, I used to imagine many scenario in my mind, and also I'm reading some message I can say to my future husband. And also, I'm reading about me, my story since young and continent. And the thing I would like to know, because yes, if it is possible to the lot of story who are in my mind to put in like write a book,
Okay.
but how to start. And also I would like to use Wattpad. I don't know if Mrs. Maiga know Wattpad, but I would like to write also in Wattpad because I have many scenario, and I think people are gonna love it.
Okay. You have a question. Okay. This is the last question. Go ahead.
But we have another question. I have another question. And that's particularly to present.
Okay.
Thank you, Mrs. Howard. I have a question. It's about leading Change Africa. One time I applied for a volunteer. But I haven't received a feedback. So I want to know if you take voluntary or
Volunteers. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Now let's try again how we will try because it's not always easy to answer the questions. The first one was from Ture from the beginning. She said that she has as an ambition to become a well-known author in Mali. So what would be your advice and tips for her? I think this also joins Cise's question about how to start writing a book. She has a lot of scenarios in her head before sleeping at night. And she wants to, make them on paper, as we say. So what would be your advice for those thinking of those ambitioning an author career development?
That's a good question. Thank you, Rama, for facilitating, and thank you also, ladies, for asking. So I guess don't seek fame. I would say just be authentic about your story, and just be willing to take on the risk, but never seek fame, right? Because seeking fame sometimes can lead you to become someone else, and you don't want to find yourself into that. You want to be yourself. Fame will come naturally as you keep moving. So seek other objectives, goals, like I want to be a good author, or I want to be an author who is read everywhere, not only in Mali, but in Africa, in the world. Seek ambition, seek bigger vision, big goals, not fame. Fame is temporary. We have known a lot of famous people. Of us, where are they now? Some are dead, some still famous. We remember that from time to time, but it's not a static, or like say a statical way to be, right? Don't seek fame, just seek originality, seek self improvement, self learning, growing, keep moving. And I'm just saying that to start, but there are a lot of other tips that I will share with you guys as you're thinking about starting your own writer, or let's say offer journey. In Mali, there are a lot of challenges, it's true. Nowadays, we have seen a lot of young people just being authors for the sake of being authors. And this is the different about, if you really have a passion for something, if you're really willing to learn from your experience, learn from people who have already made half a journey of where you want to go, compared to those who just want to write for the fame or for the title of being an author. There is a big difference. And yes, they may end up being author, but only for one, two book. But when you already have the passion and that you keep improving on the skill, you will break barriers. You would get even, to bigger sense that you didn't even think would happen one day. As you want to start, just go small, right? When I wrote my first book, it was again I was just 18 years old. And first thing first, ask yourself, where is that passion coming from? I can tell you easily that I have grown up in an environment where I knew at an early age the importance of education, of writing, of reading. I was a big reader prior to becoming an author. And in the same environment where I was growing up, at an early age, I really understood the value of books. I was always given as presents books. And as I was reading them, it really helped me to explore different possibilities. It helped me have bigger horizons. It helped me projecting myself into different worlds, understanding different dynamics, cultures, principles, get inspiration from people, get role models, understanding that wow, there is a way out, and I didn't have to only limit myself to what I could see as example in my country, but still knowing that there are other people out there, other authors that out there who are making a true difference. And that helped me, right, from being a reader to a writer. So as an author, I found myself in a space where I was spending time with myself. How many people do that? You have 24 hours in a day. How much or how many hours are you taking for yourself to reflect on yourself, learn more about
That's a
yourself?
good question. How many hours? Think about it. It's a good question. We are always surrounded. We need to be with ourselves.
Yeah.
Very, yeah. Go ahead. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Arama, for adding that. But yes, how many times in a day are you spending with yourself? And I know it's not easy, right? You're leaving school or work, you come back home, you have duties, everyone wants to speak with you. But look, the only thing that you won't have twice is your brain, your mind. And the only chance you won't have twice is the chance to being with yourself. And there are specific times for this, especially as you are in your 20s. Make sure that you get to a self discovery of yourself. Don't seek for fame, seek for that, seek for discovering who you are. Because once you get to that point, there is nothing that could limit or block you in your way. There is no power more powerful and with the ability to transform, beyond knowing yourself, knowing what you're capable of, and understanding what your true mission is in life. And I think I got to that point thanks to spending time with myself. And as I was in that environment, that's where, again, yes, I know Wattpad. I used to write on Wattpad when I was a student at my early time in education. I used Wattpad to read, small stories, to write just for the pleasure of writing. But I didn't have any purpose. I just wanted to write because I knew I wanted, and they have a lot of pleasure writing. You see, so it can all start with that. Just you know that writing makes you feel good and you love to write, even in your journal, personal journals, personal stories, or even like during your assignments. When it's about only two sentences, you always find yourself writing more than the required two sentences. All that are signs that you love writing, and it's good. This is the first step. If you feel yourself into that position, it's good. It makes sense and it's totally normal, and you will evolve through time. So those are the basics. You can definitely see the passion for writing from those examples that I just shared. But the good thing is, as I was spending time with myself and doing self discovery and understanding that I have a mission, I have a call to write, a passion for it, and I started just thinking about what bothers me in life. We all have that, right? Look at around. What is one thing that bothers you that you want to change in your family, your community, your country, the world? What is one single thing that if you had the power, you would use it to change? So the inspiration can come from it. Just imagine yourself, right? What is one thing that you would love to change around yourself? What is one thing that you feel like nobody's talking about it, but you think it's really relevant? That there should be more words put on that. There should be more vocals. There should be more voice around that thing that nobody's talking, but you feel like it truly matters to you or could make a big difference in your life or other people's lives. Think about it. Why? Because the inspiration for your writing may come from it. And I can give you my example. So I was a student abroad from Mali in Algeria, and during that time, it was one of the racist country in the world. We were facing a lot of challenges, not only me, but also other friends, and that's when you realize that you start thinking about migration, education, you start thinking about resilience, you start thinking about what that your state or government should be doing and supporting you if that they're not doing. You start thinking about all institutions and how they promise you this or this, and then it end up not being the truth in reality. And you'll be like, why nobody talks about it? Why people go study abroad and sometimes they come back, they make people think like everything is perfect, that money still grows from trees. Why the narrative never changes? And then you realize that it doesn't change because maybe people don't want to write about it, or maybe you didn't find a book which is really talking about it as it should be. And you'll be like, oh my God, so why am I waiting for other people to talk about it or to write about it if I could do it myself? And that's where you feel like there is a space for you to contribution, and that you might be that person who will speak about it, who would advocate about it, who would write about it. And remember this as you write. Don't, again, I said don't seek fame and don't seek immediate impact. The point is, we are in a situation, or let's say in an environment where we always think about competition with others. You're not in competition with anyone. Your story is different. You can help each other, but don't see it as competition. Competition don't take leaders anywhere. But together you can make bigger impacts. And that's where you start thinking about, okay, the impact I'm doing might not serve the people within my generation, but think about those who will come behind you. And that's where you start being self aware of the fact that any work that you're doing today don't expect the result to come out tomorrow. It will take time. Look at the leaders, look at the Nelson Mandelas, the people we talk about, the Maya Angelos. It took them over 30 years, 40 years to see that the impact of their work. But we as young people, we want to see the result right away, and it doesn't work. It's like writing a book. Your first book will be criticized, it won't be the best ever. Second book, same thing. Who know the story about Harry Potter? It was rejected so many times, but today is one of the most selling books, bestsellers, movies, documentaries, read and watch everywhere. So there will be that time of rejection and then improvement, and towards years you will see the impact. But don't rush yourself, don't be pressured about anything. And again, if it can make you feel at ease, think about the work you're doing and how the impact might not serve again your peers, but might serve the people behind you. And that way you make sure that you are not in a competition with anyone. You just shaping your own path. But again, going back to what early stage writing looked like, as I started really thinking about what I wanted to write about, and it started with something that I feel like everyone should talk about it, but nobody did. As you start writing, make sure that you have the good mentors. And a good mentor could be formal or informal. It could be a wise friend, it could be Arama standing in front of you. It could be me as we stay in touch. It could be your, you know, older sister or younger sister, because maturity has nothing to do with age. It's more about experience. You cannot make yourself alone. Make sure you have people there who you can reach out to and say, hey, listen, Arama, I'm currently writing a book. I don't know if it's making sense at all, but you please want to spare couple of hours writing the book and gave me feedback. So that's what you need, feedback. And you want to get it from experienced people. And in my case, when I started writing, I had a lot of friends who already published their book. So I just used them as resources. I had a lot of fears. I was not sure if I was writing something good. I'm like, I'm just 18. What would I talk about? Is it really something that would make a difference? Yeah, I had all those fears. But again, I was surrounded by people who were able to influence me positively, to give me good feedback, to be honest in doing that, in making that feedback, and to help me with resources and the right information to keep even improving my writings and giving me more ideas on how I could make my book be a great one. And again, that's what you need. Start with what you have now, what you have in mind. It might not look like perfect, but it's okay. Just see it as a process for learning and improving, and surround yourself with people who can give you feedback at the end of the day, who has experience in the field, who will, guide you towards the right resources, tools, and keep moving. And at some point, just as you get feedback, as you get more people reading it, as you have a purpose of what you're writing about, release it. Take the risk. Yes, people will criticize you. Yes, it might not be the best ever, but get all those feedback that you will receive and inform the next book that you will be doing and keep moving into that direction. There is no people who just wake up one day and become bestsellers. They're just people who are aware of that it may take time, steps, but they keep learning and growing into the journey. So it's more theoretical, right? But you'll have to take action and just think about all that we're saying here to reflect on it. But that's what I wanted to share, Arama, in terms of.
Yeah, that's great advice, I think. And I love what you say. You cannot make yourself alone. You need other people to reach out to. That's a very powerful message. And start writing with what you have now and reach out to people to seek feedback and action to make this dream a reality. Now I'll move on to I think we can merge those two questions regarding email writing, the best time frame to reply to an email, and also the best time frame to resend a message, because you send it and you are looking for a feedback within a time frame, you have a deadline, but the person is not getting back to you. So these 2 points, what would be your tips or
Yeah,
advice to do that?
absolutely. So the reply also depends a lot. Um, as an executive or as someone in a position with a lot of responsibilities, sometimes you are really busy. And when an email comes, you cannot be always in that position of reacting, replying. Sometimes you don't really have the time. But be conscious about your priorities. Which email should you reply first? Which should come next? So as you do that, what I would say is sometimes it still might be an important email. Let's say I'm receiving 3 emails. Arama is sending me an email because we have a session tomorrow. That's my priority because I want us to be on the same page for for making sure that the event goes to a success. Or Fatima is also sending me the same email. It's also important, it's related to my work. And tomorrow we have an in person session with someone else. You see how that could conflict? The reply depends on, sometimes you have the email, you don't want to take action right away, you don't want to reply right away. So, what you can do is just, hey, Arama, I will get back to you shortly about what you request. You see what I mean? So be strategic on acknowledging that you cannot reply to all emails at once, but if they are all important, just tell the person, notify them that you received the email, that you reply back, hey, I got your email. Thank you so much for writing, and I will try to get back to you by Monday. Is that okay? Thank you. At least the person know that you're getting back to them, even though you don't want to be long. And if you cannot do all of that and you feel like you're really busy, make sure just, within the 3 days limit, you are able to say something. Reply, or, first third days, if you feel like you're still not replying, send an email, as I was saying, telling the person I will get back to you. It's just because this happened, I will get back to you. Or you don't even have to go in details. Hey, for some reasons I might not be able to reply to you now, but let me get back to you on, 2 days, or, you know, 3 days later on Monday. At least you are not being silent, and you're showing a lot of professionalism, you know, showing the other person that you care and you receive it. For some reason you cannot reply, but you're gonna get back to them. So to summarize on that, just make sure you know your priority, who you should reply to depending on engagement and commitment, and make sure that within 3 days limit you are able to correctly reply to a person, or letting them know, acknowledge that you received the email and that you'll get back to them. So that's what I would say. It's by experience, it's not a standard rule. It's how I process, and I hope that could help you. Now, for the moving into the follow-up section, um, even there, 3 days is fine. I mean, let's say you sent me an email, I didn't reply back. Maybe because it went to spam. Maybe I haven't seen it, or maybe I saw it but I forgot to reply. There could be a lot of reason, and you don't want to assume that the person just didn't want to reply. You don't want to assume that it's not professional, and you want to make sure that you take all chances for you to get your reply, and you don't take it personal. Usually what I do is, after 3 days, depending on the content of the email, after 3 days or after a week, if I feel like the thing is urgent, the person is not replying back, that's where I would say is the best timing to for you to follow up. And as you follow up, instead of just rewriting the same thing, you could just, the first email that you send, the initial one, just try to forward it. Or if you don't have to forward it, go to the same email, make sure that the email address is correct to the person you're sending to, and reply again or forward again to the person saying, hey, I'm just following up on my previous email. I hope you have received it, knowing that you are very busy, and I was wondering maybe it went to spam or whatever, but I just want to follow up on the email and make sure that you receive it. Looking forward to hearing from you. That's it. I mean, you don't have to go back again and write the same thing. It's just redundant. It doesn't make or add any value. Just make sure that the person is receiving again, and tell them, hey, I'm just resending this in case you haven't seen it, as you're busy and maybe it went to spam. Please let me know if it's all fine for you, and looking forward to hearing from you. You see, it's very simple, very strategic, and you're not bothering them. So, Ram, I think that's what I have to say into that section.
That's those are great feedbacks. Now the last question around the use of what is your take on this? Would you
The use of
recommend AI in email meetings? What's your point on that?
the use of AI in a professional setting.
Yeah, in email writing, in
Oh, email.
professional. What's your take on that? Would you recommend it or?
Yes, yes, I would definitely recommend it. Not only in your email, in whatever you do, see it as a tool. Again, I'm not saying go and tell ChatGPT, write everything for me or do this for me. No, what you can do is draft something first, and you
Yeah.
can put it there for polishing. And you can tell him the right instructions. Hey, I'm sending an email to Rama. Please look at this, correct it, remove all grammar mistakes, and making it look like more professional tone. You see how it can help you save time. It's not that you cannot
Yeah.
think. It's that you just made the draft and you went there and tell them, hey, polish this for me. You know how much, how many times people would, the amount of time people would spend making articles or making emails or writing stuff in the past. In bigger amount of time, but nowadays you are using those tools to save you time, and be strategic on how you use it, because everyone is using it. When you don't show your personal tone, it will look like AI automatized and doesn't give good impression of you. And you don't want to look like that. You don't want to find yourself into that position. So just make sure that you use it as a tool and not being used by it. And for you to do that, make a draft, put it there, and make sure that you modify later on so that it doesn't look like it. And when I say modify, you have noticed for those who use AI, sometimes you feel like it's the same words that come back again and again and again. So just make sure that, you know, after polishing, you also take some time to review again and make sure that it keeps your personal tone.
That's great. What you say, my biggest takeaway from the overall session is to use AI as a tool rather than being used by it.
Mm-hmm.
And don't think that you can make yourself alone. You need people to reach out to. I think these two sentences really synthesize my takeaway from the session. Awa, thank you so much. I think we can put our hands. This was truly, truly insightful. Thank you so much for your time, for your generosity in sharing those tips with us. Please make sure to share the slides with me and I will share them with the girls. I hope that all of you will reach out to her. You will tell her on LinkedIn. I'm sorry. She said she needs to move at okay, fine. Yeah. Okay. You please reach out to her. I'm sure that a lot of you can reach out to her. Yeah. And she can. Of course, she said she has a lot of responsibilities. If she doesn't get back to you on time, she's already shared the tips. So make sure to reach out to her. Awa, thank you. Do you have any last word before you leave us?
I would just say thank you, Arama, for making this space possible. And thank you to everyone who was able to join us into that session. It was truly great seeing your faces, your laughs, your smiles, your positive energy. That would make my day. And I will keep you in mind. Again, feel free to reach out either on LinkedIn, social medias. Let's stay in touch. If you want to get back to me and dive more into any subject that we discussed today, please feel free to do so. And again, I know some people talked about leading change and how to be involved as a volunteer. We didn't get a chance to talk about it, but I would highly encourage you. You can get my email with Rama, or you can go on LinkedIn, follow me, and send me a message, and I would direct you more on how you can get involved and get some opportunities there. But again, everything that we discuss is just theory. What I would expect from all of you is to take action, reflect on what we discussed today, incorporate in your daily life, and let's just keep empowering each another. We know how it's challenging for women. So again, Arama, congrats and really thank you for all that you're doing. And I hope that this is not really the end of all the series that might come next. So yeah, let's keep doing the great work and inspire our families and communities. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Can you make a screen? A
A what?
screen of the
Oh, sure. Okay,
shots.
okay, okay. I will make it.
Yes. Let's do a screen face. Yes. Oh. Okay. Let's see how many people she can get in there.
Okay, just let me know when you are ready. Is it fine?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, did one.
Okay.
Okay, second one. One,
Hey.
two, three. I think
That's
I got.
perfect.
I
Thank
will,
you.
I will send you
Bye.
guys. Thank you. Take care.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye.